I thought I needed to bargain with God which strand of me to let go, just forgot to tell me they are all lifelines. Then it becomes my job to firm my grip, to hold on to every line, but I'm tired. Being in this body alone is suffocating. Genocide of my people costs $3.8 billion from the same country calling itself land of the free. Peace in a house of worship is unfound. Love to bring me some serene is not allowed. Rusting into the warmth of my skin is a threat, and I am left alone with heavy chest. They sold me the lie that I have to grapple these lifelines alone. That way they didn't have to worry about me standing beyond survival. They wanted to make sure I rot in loneliness and have no hope in liberation. I thought I was impoverished from community when apparently I am rich. I'm rich with family that's been holding lifelines like mine for generations. They've been existing and resisting, hidden in literature, books, and histories they would never teach in school. They taught me that my strength lies in heart and that liberation is on the tip of my tongue and between my fingers. That to be queer Palestinian is to know that my back is strong with community and that my heart loves much bigger than sorrow can ever grow. They taught me that to be queer Palestinian is to be a walking revolution. The ways I cultivated community and kind of grew into myself throughout the past year and a half was really through community work. Last year was really tough with COVID. As hard as that was, it was also a moment for me to do a lot of internal reflection and to build a support system around me, people who share the same values, who are willing to grow together and support each other. I started getting more involved with the queer community by volunteering with the marginalized majority, by starting to post more on social media and engaging in social media more. I was very clear about who I am and my values, so I attracted people with the same values. With the growth of my social media, I realized how much of a voice I have, especially as a queer Palestinian. Because the pinkwashing that happens would always get under my skin because queer Palestinian culture and queer Palestinians are very much alive and well in Palestine. This glamorization of settler colonial states and the fact that they protect queer folks is false. If anything, they utilize us as just a way to show face and protect their image without actually having any substantial ways of protecting us. And we see that with the Black trans women that are consistently targeted by the police. I felt like as a queer Palestinian and as someone with a platform, I really had a responsibility to speak up for my people. I can be queer and Palestinian and trans, and I can exist and I can be here and speak up for my people, my country, my land. The marginalized majority is a space for everyone, especially queer folks from the global south. I have a drop-in and we had a lot of Palestinian queer women show up, a lot of Palestinian queer, trans, and non-binary folks show up, wanting to just be heard, wanting a space to heal, wanting a space to laugh. The marginalized majority absolutely is a place that has been not just very supportive, but very healing for me as a queer Palestinian and other queer Palestinians as well. People really wanted to hear queer Palestinian voices because they're almost non-existent and they want to support us. People didn't know we existed. And not just that, Palestinians, other queer Palestinians didn't know that there are queer Palestinians beyond themselves. And I've become a person that a lot of other queer Palestinians reach out to for support, for advice, to get to have a space where I can be giving the reality, telling the truth, telling our stories, owning the narrative. I feel so grateful to be in a position where I can do that and to finally have a voice for queer Palestinians that I've never seen before. I wish our conversations around allyship, especially when we're talking about allies, really changes. I see a lot of white folks using hashtag this, hashtag that, but when it comes down to them actually listening, doing the work, educating themselves and their families, showing up with their bodies at protests. I don't see it. And the second you call them in on a behavior where they've harmed a member of the community that they claim to be allies to, their white fragility shows. It is their people, it is their ancestry, it is themselves really that are still upholding the system, and we have to suffer the aftermaths of that. Very marginalized activists, QT BIPOC activists, are putting themselves in a lot of dangers to speak up for their communities, but we speak up out of a place of we don't have an option. Something over the past year throughout COVID that I learned about myself is that I'm really horrible with boundary setting. The journey of cultivating community that really cares for me, they call me in on that. They're like, you need to protect your spirit. I've realized how important it is and how much of an act of resistance it is for me to just be comfortable in my skin. You know, carrying that forward into sharing time with family and community, feeling joy, dancing depke, cooking, going out on cute dates. Activism is incredible, and to me, it's a duty that I have towards my people and all peoples who are seeking liberation. There are very different forms of activism, and some of them require me to just be here. That's all, and that is very enough.